Welcome back to another Lessons Learned video. Today, we're going to be talking about oxidative phosphorylation, which is the fourth and final stage of cellular respiration. So let's begin. Now, oxidative phosphorylation is split into two different steps. Number one, the electron transport chain, and number two, chemiosmosis. Now, if we remember, there are two types of electron carrier molecules in cellular respiration, NADH and FADH2, that have been created and produced from the first three steps. And these electron carrier molecules store energy in their hydrogen atoms. And as they shuttle the hydrogens to the phospholipid bilayer of the inner mitochondrial membrane, including the cristae, which are the folds, they enter the electron transport chain, otherwise known as the ETC. And this is where the hydrogens of each electron carrier molecule are split into protons and electrons. So let me draw this real quick. So we have the 10 NADH. Let me just see. And we have the 2 FADH2. And these hydrogens that they store the energy in splits into a proton and an electron. And the electrons, or the high energy electrons from each electron carrier molecules, are passed along a series of protein carrier molecules, right? And so these in red are the proton carrier molecules, and the electrons kind of get passed through each chain right here, as so, until they reach the final electron acceptor, which is half of an O2 right here. 1/2 O2. Now, this oxygen atom combines with the two hydrogens to form H2O, and this is where most of the H2O is created as a waste product in cellular respiration. Now, the oxygen in this stage is why this process is aerobic. So let me write it up here. It is aerobic, and it also happens, as I said before, in the inner membrane and the cristae. Now, at the same time that the electrons are being passed along the ETC, hydrogen atoms, also called protons, are being moved through the proton pump in green. So we have a bunch of H plus here, and they move upwards here. And that causes a gradient, because now we'll have a lot of protons up here. And these are from the splitting of the hydrogen atoms of the electron carrier molecules down here, right? And they are being pumped into the intermembrane space of the mitochondrion, creating a gradient, as I said, with a lot of stored potential energy to do work. And this creates an acidic pH in the intermembrane space. So let me label, up here is the intermembrane, right? In the middle here is the inner membrane, or the cristae as well. And down here is the mitochondrial matrix. So that's step one of the oxidative phosphorylation. Step two is chemiosmosis. Now, chemiosmosis occurs because of the proton ion buildup in the intermembrane space of the mitochondria, and it diffuses back into the inner membrane through facilitated diffusion through a special enzyme called ATP synthase, which is here in the pink, right here. Right? Let me just label this ATP synthase. And what happens is these hydrogen atoms go through the ATP synthase, and it causes it to spin, kind of like, a spin wheel or something like that. And then it enables ADP to bind with two negatively charged phosphate groups to bond with another negatively charged phosphate, creating ATP. So here we have ADP plus an inorganic phosphate group and it turns into ATP with a total of 34. And as I said, the hydrogens go down here. Yeah, so this is the final steps of cellular respiration. Just to notice, or just to give a note, NADH creates around 3 ATP molecules, and FADH2 is used to create around 2 ATP molecules. And some textbooks will say at the end of cellular respiration there's only there's 36 and not 34. But as I said in a previous video, in the formation of acetyl-CoA, those textbooks do not take into consideration that it takes 2 ATPs to move the pyruvates through the mitochondria matrix. So that's oxidative phosphorylation. Next video will be a summary of all of the cellular respiration. If you like the video, please give it a like and comment and subscribe.